another huge difference is that even if I used to say that the house in the original game was a kind of character in the game, actually it was more just Jeremy Hartwood's house. But now there is really more connection between the character and the house.
We certainly had a little bit more freedom to make Dorsetto bigger and sort of mean more, I suppose. But yeah, I wouldn't immediately say one decision is better than the other. I think it was a powerful experience to just rummage through Jeremy Hart's house in the original.
Detective, am I glad to see you. Lock the door, will you? I don't think Dr. Gray would appreciate us snooping around.
What's going on here? This feels so strange.
Yeah, this kind of static camera in the game reminds me a lot the original one, but actually I hated it because when the character face a room, a new room, from the player point of view, you cannot see inside the room, so you are scared to walk in, but actually the character in the game can see inside the room, and it disturbed me a lot during the whole dev of the game.
Have you found anything?
What? Yeah, I've seen some things.
Okay. Let me know if there is anything you want to talk about.
You don't find this place strange?
Dorsetto is certainly one of the stranger places I've been to.
This room feels too real, hyper real, more than anything I've ever experienced.
Okay. I don't see what you mean.
Forget it. I gotta get back to breaking the contract. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
The fixed camera angle in the rooms we called Gray's apartment is of course a direct reference to not just the story or the setting of the original, but the actual style of that game. When we first started developing our game, there was a brief discussion on making the whole game like this, but we decided against it because it felt limiting in so many ways. But I personally think it has a lot of charm, and a fixed camera has a lot going for it. I like how it frames things that are important to the player. Since Chapter 4 is about making the player feel that their character might be going crazy, it felt like a fun way to show this as well. Jumping from the shoulder camera to this much more observing view, we get a sense of an out-of-body experience. So while it's certainly a fun nod to the original, it also fit the experience we wanted to convey.
I think I'm beginning to understand. Dr. Gray is dealing with some kind of mass delusion.
That mark on the floor looks like talisman positions, but from which direction should I look at it?
Good to finally meet you, Mr. Hartwood.
What were you saying about mass delusion?
Derceto seems to have a deranging effect on people living close by. It has a history of creating cults devoted to some nature goddess. Even the name Derceto refers to the cult existing here before the Civil War. Derceto was the name of an ancient fertility goddess worshipped in Syria. Dr. Gray and his friends, however, seem to prefer the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young, or Shub-Nigroth. And that name can only have come from my uncle's twisted mind.
You think all of them are in this cult business? Even Jeremy?
I'm not sure any of them have a choice at this point. We just need to find a way to stop all of this.
I've been so busy trying to free your uncle from the promise he made to the Dark Man. I guess I kind of just let everything else go.
Don't worry, Detective. I feel like we're close. I'm sure Jeremy will turn up. If he is part of the cult, he wouldn't want to miss the Feast of St. John. I just need enough information to make him see the truth.
I hope you're right, but I doubt he'll show up. Not as long as the Dark Man's got him hiding.
These three rooms are more directly referenced to the original game. The master bedroom, dressing room, and the study. They go more into the original game's New England / colonial kind of style. So you have the bed with the canopy and the dresser and all these kind of small details that goes into it. To shift the mood somewhat and make the player not know if they are in the real world or not, we added the different mood in these three rooms.
The Snake Dagger, a monograph.
Hello?
Detective Conby.
Who is this? Jeremy?
Jeremy is with the Dark Man. You can't save him.
Well, I've done everything he wanted so far, and there's just one more thing on the list. I expect him to keep his promise and return Jeremy unharmed.
Get out, Detective, while you still can.
Detective Conby wanted nothing more. Detective Conby. Conby entered.
You okay? You look a little frazzled.
Just stupid telephone.
I know. I tried calling the police earlier. The telephone is completely dead.
It's not... Yeah, no, the telephone isn't working.
Detective Conby was worried Emily could tell.
Miss Hartwood, I think you're gonna want to see this.
Is there something in the closet?
Yeah, there is. You don't see the very obvious gate leading to whatever Jeremy's madness is serving up next?
I don't understand. Are you making some kind of fashion metaphor? I'm sorry, I don't have time for this. Can you just tell me what you're doing?
You don't see this! It's fine. It's fine. Catch you later.
Are you going inside the closet?
Yeah. You got a problem with that?
No. Do what you think is right, Detective.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Goodbye, Miss Hartwood.
Disheartened by
The Arctic level is the second and last extreme otherworld, which
We found the ancients.
bookends the madness, where we start in the desert, the warm desert, and ending in the cold Arctic. And the warm desert, of course, is being the lion's nest, so to speak, for the Dark Man. And the cold Arctic is therefore the opposite. It's a world dreamed into existence by Jeremy to protect his own manic personality. And in charge of this protection is Jacob van Ostad, who we find and fight on top of a cliff. I could go on about how the last layer of hell in Dante's Inferno is a cold wasteland, but that was an afterthought. It really was a lot less complicated than that. It was just a text in the original called The Unfinished Chapter of Terra Incognita by Jacob van Ostad, which conjured this vision of an Arctic landscape, and that really fitted well with our narrative, so we incorporated it. Arctic level is the second and last extreme otherworld.
We found the ancient Stellar.
Which kind of bookends the madness, where we start in the desert, the warm desert, and ending in the cold Arctic. And the warm desert, of course, is being the lion's nest, so to speak, for the Dark Man. And the cold Arctic is therefore the opposite. It's a world dreamed into existence by Jeremy to protect his own manic personality. And in charge of this protection is Jacob van Ostad, who we find and fight on top of a cliff. I could go on about how the last layer of hell in Dante's Inferno is a cold wasteland, but that was an afterthought. It really was a lot less complicated than that. It was just a text in the original called The Unfinished Chapter of Terra Incognita by Jacob van Ostad, which conjured this vision of an Arctic landscape, and that really fitted well with our narrative, so we incorporated it.
Hey, you! What are you doing here? What is this place?
Turn back, detective. You're not wanted here.
Whoa, take it easy. I'm not your enemy.
Oh, you're wrong, detective. You're wrong.
For the observatory, which is the alien-looking structures you see here, we really try to avoid going too much into the sci-fi trope and went more towards a more ancient-looking construction. And I think we found a very nice shape language for the final observatory structure, which is this sphere you can see here, and it has the Tarueya star symbols on the ground, and yeah, I think it's a really nice environment, showing off some really nice 3D art, and we have obviously the Northern Lights or Aurora Borealis, giving it some magic glow going, which is also a nice touch.
Stay dead, will you? I did everything! Aren't you happy? Stupid charlatan! What more do you want from me? You want me to lose my mind?
Oh, my lord! Doctor! Baptiste! Quick!
Jesus. What were you thinking, compadre?
You awake? You are awake. Mr. Conby's up.
Hey, buddy! I thought you'd be knocked out for the rest of the night. Come on out and join us, will you? I'll save you some gumbo.
Good to have you back. You gave us all a good scare.
What happened?
You had a psychological breakdown. Sorry for manhandling you, but you were being violent.
You stabbed Jeremy and then punched Dr. Gray.
Are they... okay?
Jeremy's a little strange, but everything's back to normal.
Really?
All thanks to you, combat. You want to try standing up?
Well, if it isn't the hero of the day. How are you feeling, Detective?
Never better. How about you two? Hey, Jeremy, I didn't do too much damage, did I?
Things are fine. Very quiet.
What's up with him? Painkillers?
No. You see, despite you having the finesse of a one-eyed butcher, you managed to lobotomize dear Jeremy.
I did what?
It's actually quite impressive. It's not like I hadn't considered it myself. I just wish Jeremy could have been helped without reducing his personality to that of an oyster.
But he's gonna live.
Of course. As long as someone keeps feeding him, he'll outlive the best of us.
Everything was back to normal. Did any of it really happen? What had Conby actually been doing all night?
Does Emily know about Jeremy's condition?
Yes. She seems to be handling it quite well under the circumstances.
Does she still want to take Jeremy away from Derceto?
I will have to insist that you do. This is not that kind of institution.
Jeremy, hang on for a little longer, okay? We'll be going back to New Orleans soon.
Oh, good. I do so miss the city lights.
Case closed. Detective Conby had found Jeremy and brought him back to Derceto. He worried that Emily wouldn't be all that.
glad to see you made it back to Derceto.
You too, Detective. Make sure to stay for the festivities. It's no Mardi Gras, but it ain't bad.
You seen Emily around?
I saw her packing some things into that old jalopy you arrived in about an hour ago. I'm sure she hasn't given up on you yet.
Catch you later.
Looking forward to it, Detective.
What are you looking for?
Just keeping an eye out for the storm. Radio says it could be a wild one.
You don't know where Emily is, do you?
She's packing some of Jeremy's things. Said she wanted to take them away. I'm sure she'll come and get you when she's ready.
Should probably get a move on then.
See you around, compare.
Good to see you back on your feet, Detective. Have some gumbo.
Thanks. I'll save it for later. Seems like everyone's in a pretty good mood.
The Eve of St. John is the most important date of the whole year. It's the only day when the black goat of the woods tends to her young.
I'm gonna go look for Emily.
Don't worry about her. She wouldn't leave without you, would she?
This party scene is an important final chance for the player to reacquaint themselves with our cast before we end the game. It's sort of putting an epilogue before the end. If you know what happens later, you could argue that we could have easily just played it all in one cutscene, leading you from the confrontation of the Dark Man to finding the Black Goat. But experience-wise, we wanted to give the player a fake ending, basically a chance to doubt and consider what had happened. This space to ponder that gives the player time to process thoughts like, what happened? What was real? Have I been suffering from delusions? And of course, is the game really over already? Everything is kind of pointing to the fact that your part of the story is over, and all you have to do is wait for your companion to arrive and you can go back to New Orleans. But of course, we hit you with one final surprise. The tree comes alive and kills everyone.
That is one impressive tree.
More impressive than you could ever imagine.
So how does this all work? You dance around chanting? For the ritual, I mean?
Stay and find out, Detective. It might just do you good.
You haven't seen Emily, have you?
No, Detective. I haven't.
All right, tell me, what the hell's about to happen here?
Every year we have a little turn-the-page ceremony by the tree. It's symbolical. It's like life has its cycles of grief and happiness. You know? Just like a tree facing the seasons. Things change, but remain the same.
So this is basically New Year's Eve, but with a tree metaphor.
Exactly. You're so smart. It's about starting again. I mean, who could use a positive message like that more than a bunch of lunatics like us?
I get the feeling some of you think this year is going to be special. Any idea why?
Well, we got some new words, thanks to your buddy Jeremy, and some other changes to the program. Let's just say we're all in this year.
Hey, kid. What are you up to?
Nothing much.
Yeah? Anything I'm gonna have to pay for? You're bored, aren't you? Yeah, I can tell. You want to see if we can tear your mother away from the play?
Can you believe they're still going? It's been hours. You forgot this.
Well, I just didn't want you to think we had abandoned you in there.
Can we go home?
Yes, please. Can we?
What? You guys didn't like the play?
It was all right. A little difficult to follow.
Oh, I agree. Let's just say there were moments where it left me alone in the dark.
Oh, God.
That's the name of the play.
Whoa, what do you know?
Did you like it, sweetie?
There should have been a hedge maze.
A hedge maze?
Uh-huh. And pirates. That would have been fun.
Well, maybe next time.